Hi guys, Lewted host here with another dank stream. I'm gonna make this stream pretty short. Nothing really important this stream, is just gonna be replays. I'm trying to see if something's wrong with Twitch because for some reason it's not working really well for me. And so actually it is working now, but I can't see my chat, so unfortunately I have to just do with what I have right now. And yeah, I can't see anything you guys write or type. And I'm still having problems with the Twitch plugin. It might be something with my internet connection, it might be something with AdBlock, it might be something with Pyrocynical, but I mean, who cares about him? Anyway, I just hope you guys enjoy these 3 replays I'm going to show you. And so anyway, back to the stream. Today I wanted to talk about the Romans. The Romans are very interesting in this game because just like in well, actually no, not like Rome 2. In Rome 2, the Romans had the most cost-effective units overall. In Attila, their cost-effectiveness is only in their tankiness and their holding power. They are not very offensive. There are 3 Roman factions, and then you got the Ostrogothic kingdom, which are like Roman pretenders. But you have the Eastern Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, and the Roman Expedition. Recently I decided to try the Western Roman Empire because they don't get played a lot. They are considered to be one of the weakest factions in the game besides the Huns and the Sassanids. Sassanid for speed. Anyway, the Western Roman Empire is without a doubt weaker than the Eastern Roman Empire, both in the campaign and in gameplay. The Western Roman Empire does not have any axe units. These guys have, the Eastern Roman Empire has the Hetera Guard. Hetera is I think it's the Greek word for companion. Anyway, I think they both have the same general's options. Yes, they do. They both have the same general's options. The spears is quite balanced. When it comes to swords, yeah, the Eastern Roman Empire doesn't have the same thing, but they do have the Protectores Domestici, which are pretty decent apparently. I've never used the Eastern Roman Empire in multiplayer, so I wouldn't know. I haven't done their campaign either. I haven't done either campaign, but I did do the Roman Expedition, and that was pretty fun. Palatina, Legio, yeah. Most of the, I think your main line will consist of Protectores Domestici, simply because they don't have precursors, which means that they are in fact better in melee than the Legio. And that's pretty important, because yes, precursors are good for prior damage, but they are best against like cavalry. And one thing I realized in this game, actually these missiles aren't. These missiles are just regular. I was paying attention to the precursors that they throw in, that the Romans throw in Attila, and they actually look like darts, which is so weird. Yeah, these guys have the one that's bonus versus cav. Anyway, so yeah, the Western Roman Empire also has Protectores Domestici, but they have a unit that I decided to use called the Armigeri Defensores. These guys are pretty good, in my opinion. Somebody, actually no, Sun Jetsu, he's a YouTuber on, he's our YouTuber, he's a Total War player that's on YouTube. He, I tend to watch his videos every now and then. He's not my favorite YouTuber, but he's pretty decent. He said that the most cost-effective Roman unit goes to the Armigeri Defensores, and it's because they do not have, although they do not have precursors, for the price of 400, which is the same as Legio, remember, you get 40 melee attack, and that's something that you don't get until you get to Elite Palutena, who have 62. And even Herculeani Seniores have 35, but they also have 50 melee damage. They don't have the best charge bonus, which is the same for pretty much every Roman unit, except like the higher ones. Sometimes they'll have high charge bonuses. Yeah, so they have a melee attack of 40, melee damage of 40, and pretty decent. Their health is 122, which I think is less. Yeah, it's less than Nigio. But they're pretty good. They have attacking, mobile testudo, and shield wall, which got patched after the Garamantians because mobile testudo kept on breaking. Little known fact, they took it from Rome 2, which is why it keeps on breaking. And yeah, these guys are pretty good. Bow infantry is about the same. Actually, no, they have armored Secretary. The Western Roman Empire has great missile units. Ravenna Elite Ballistari have more ammunition than these Elite Ballistari. I didn't use them. I used the cheap Secretary. And then you have your javelins, good against cav. Melee cav. The Western Roman Empire loses to the Eastern Roman Empire cav and I think shock cav as well. Which makes sense. I mean, the Eastern Roman Empire kind of takes its traditions from the Greeks, who preferred shock cav and cavalry in general. I mean, they adapted to the Eastern factions, so it makes sense. Tagmata cav used to be the strongest cav in the game. They got nerfed. They used to have 60 melee attack, I think. Now they only have 55, and they got nerfed, but they're still very cost effective. And I mean, their price went down to 725, which is the same as the Excubitores Cavalry Guard. And they have the Klebanari, which is their best shock cav. For the Western Roman Empire, they don't. They have the Scolae Gentiles, or Scolae Gentiles. Artillery, not too important, but it's about the same. About the same. So the Eastern Roman Empire does have its like benefits. People, I think, would rather play as the Eastern Roman Empire because the Western Roman Empire seems to like have a lot of holding power. But if you're going up against like a Germanic faction and you lose your cav early on, you basically have a melee corps that will stand up frontally, mind you, frontally to these Germanic factions for a while, but once they get flanked and hit in the rear and you got all these debuffs, that's when these guys will chain route, and that's when they become practically useless. It happens to every faction, but the Romans are the weakest without their support. And this is something that came over from Rome too. Now, one more faction. I went over the Roman expedition already. I did not do a faction overview, but I will eventually. The Roman expedition actually have a slightly smaller roster. However, they have Foederati and Scudatoi. And Scudatoi are quite cost effective for what I've seen in the campaign. I didn't use Antisigani, but I assume that they are also good. Scudatoi beat Foederati because of the armor difference, health difference, and overall they're more defensive, but they have precursors. Oh no, they also have precursors. That might have been nerfed. I don't remember these guys having precursors, but they might have, because they do have defensive testudo. Still, Scudatoi are pretty good. They are your mainline infantry. You wouldn't bring these two units into a land battle because they are siege specialists. That's what I call them. Yes, you could use them for flanking and rear hitting, but they're better. You're better not bringing them in a land battle. And then of course you got your axemen. Anyway, back to what I was going to do before. The replays. I don't have that many replays right now. But to be fair, I'm still getting used to the game. So as you can see, I did play as the Western Roman Empire. You still have the option to refight the battle, but I don't want to. It's basically myself and my ally who was a Swabian player versus another Swabian player and a Vandal player. I went up against the Vandals. However, because I'm still new, but I still know a lot about how Rome 2 worked, and I keep on using tactics from previous games to these successor games to see if they would work. And of course, Rome 2's charging and pulling out doesn't work anymore because of Age of Charlemagne. But a lot of the tactics from Rome 2 still work, so that's good. It gives me an advantage, and it makes me feel more confident when I go into a multiplayer battle. Anyway, before I continue, I just want to check to see if my stream's still working. Everything seems fine. I probably will drop a few frames, but you know what, I'm going to continue. Right now I'm on Wi-Fi, so that's probably why, but who knows. Now, I recently finished the Swabian campaign. Got a minor victory, uploaded it. Swabian champions are very strong offensive units. However, just like I think every offensive unit in Total War Attila, they suffer horrendously to cav charges. The defensive units, like the Roman units I have, are less offensive, yet they can hold out. However, if they get flanked by infantry, especially the offensive ones, they suffer greatly. Anyway, what I brought was, I think, 5 Army Defensores. After I heard about how cost-effective they were, I decided to bring them and see for myself if they really were cost-effective or not. I brought an Exculatorus, which is my javelin men. Their armor is poor and their health is low, but they are pretty good for killing cows. And then I have my Sagittari, obviously. And then I brought Western Auxiliary Palatina. I also brought 2 Herculani Signores, because you never know, sometimes there can be gaps in your front line, sometimes the cavalry like to charge frontally into sword infantry, especially shock cav. In this game, shock cav were dominant because you could just charge, pull out, and even though you take a few casualties, it's not as bad as it is now. Or it wasn't as bad as it is now. Where if you pull out and the unit isn't routing, you'll take a lot of casualties. Oh yeah, I also have my Kazafraktari. And the only reason I brought these spear infantry units is because I know from my Frankish campaign that noble Germanic horsemen are really good. They have 20 bonus versus cav compared to the Germanic horsemen's 10 bonus versus cav. Germanic horsemen are still pretty good. Like, the Germanic rosters are really nice, and I want to try every faction and get used to them, but I'm still a little bit nervous about certain factions. It's kind of like how Egypt is in Rome 2, where they are really bad, but you wouldn't know that if you looked at their roster. Like I said in a previous video, Egypt is very weak offensively. Defensively, they can do a fair bit of damage thanks to their Nubian bowmen, but offensively, they're really bad. Thorax swordsmen are defensive sword units. They are better than hoplites. However, they do not replace hoplites as a whole because they don't have the same melee reach. And therefore, in certain situations, like in situations where if you've upgraded your hoplite unit substantially, they could end up blocking, their missile hit chance against them would be 15, but because they have a bonus of 5 versus infantry, that's another 5 armor piercing against infantry. And with thorax hoplites, because they are basically improved thorax, they're improved hoplites, that's basically 13 armor piercing against infantry, and that's very effective against units that have high armor and are very tough to kill, like tribal warriors. Anyway, I started off the fight by making my Sagittari engage his crossbowmen. I didn't expect them to beat the crossbowmen, and obviously by the end of this battle you'll see that they didn't. But Sagittari are pretty decent. Thunder Taurus would have been better, and I realized this when I saw these crossbowmen.
We're being ambushed!
But you know what? I was thinking more about range than... because I thought that he would bring not crossbows. He would have brought Germanic archers, which have 200 range because they have the longbow. In either case, Thunder Taurus would have been better. However, I did get a few kills with my Sagittari by the time the battle ended. So I saw these 4 Germanic horsemen. You know, Germanic horsemen can do a lot of damage. And they were all at this flank, so I decided to, pull my cav, that were all the way over here, and just put them on this flank. Because like I said, if the Romans lose their support, like their archers, their not their archers, their missile units, their cavalry, and in some cases even their spears, all you have is basically a line of infantry that can't do well. By this point, he started to really put the hurt on my archers. Thankfully, I decided not to move my army during different swords. I decided to put them in mobile testudo. And of course, mobile testudo does make these guys move. I mean, these guys can move while in mobile testudo. I think mobile testudo is one of the best things, or testudos in general, are like one of the best things that's happened to Rome 2 and Attila. Because in Shogun 2 there is no missile block chance because there's no shields. And when in Rome 2 you have the option to go into testudo, which only the Romans do, you get this great missile block chance. For these guys, their missile block chance went up to 80. Because their missile block chance before was 35, and I think I can show it in the game files. If it loads. Oh no, their missile block chance is 25. My fault. So yeah, it would have went up to, because with mobile testudo it goes up to 55. It goes up by 55 rather. Yeah. Anyway, obviously my archers were going to lose this engagement, so I decided to yeah, put these guys in mobile testudo, move over my spears over here to support any cav engagements, move over my exclatores, which I don't think actually did anything this battle. Anyway, I just put them over. They did actually buy me some time to finish off the cav, which was good. Spears. I'm eventually going to bring over my Herculani Signors, but I was a bit too slow in doing this, and because of that, he actually had an advantage. I'm surprised he didn't push on the advantage. Now, these Armigeri Defensores are heavy, and these cavalry are also heavy. When they are in mobile testudo, their mass does increase, but in mobile, at the same time, mobile testudo does break when it's attacked. Shield wall, however, which was brought in,
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
which came in afterwards, like for the Roman infantry, has also has the same missile, not the missile block, same entity mass. And so if he were to charge my swords frontally, it would have been a disaster. I noticed a little weakness in, a little gap here. Now he made a good move and decided to charge his swords frontally and not his spears, so he could use his spears for my cap. However, in doing this, he basically weakened himself. I accidentally made a mistake here. I didn't charge properly. But then I decided to recharge.
A unit is running from the enemy.
Over here, I knew my cavalry was going to lose. He decides to use his spear unit, the Swebby Oath Takers, which are actually surprisingly bad, into my cav. I decide to use my Exclatores to help my cav over here. I ended up getting 3 kills.
One of our units has used all its... The men are broken and running for their lives. Their general has been killed! Excellent! The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing! men have given up and are running for their lives. Our men run from the enemy! This is shameful! The general of our ally is dead. A dark moment. Our ally flees the field. Ill news indeed. The men are broken and running for their lives. men have given up and are running for their lives.
$1,478 losses, and 562 remaining. And now I lost 2,213. Had 187 remaining. Did a pretty bad job too. I mean, you could have done better. Oh yes, the vandalization swordsman. So I keep on forgetting. Because my ally did have noble swimming swordsman. He also had swimming warrior, which I think is a bad idea. A bad investment. His pikemen also. Sorry. I'll be back in a few. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, this was a pretty interesting battle. Not much more to say about it than that. I was surprised that I won this. I actually thought we were going to lose because of how the deployment and how the battle was going on early on, but the Romans seem to be more of a late game faction now, where they can actually tank out those engagements early on and exhaust the units so that their fighting capability is pretty much useless. Because the Romans, or the Armigieri Defensores in general, they were still fresh by the time I defeated the Suebi. Or no, the Vandals. So I could still fight the Suebi and win the battle. I thought that was amazing. So today I fought 2 battles. These 2 were my first battles for Age of Charlemagne in multiplayer. I was quite surprised actually with these two. Actually, with the second one, I wasn't so much surprised because my ally, my opponent's ally, my opponent dropped, and then because of what happened early on, and then his ally was left. But I mean, it would have probably happened anyway. Anyway, this first battle was between Westphalia and the Emirate of Cordoba, with me playing as Westphalia.
Today, my friends, let loose the fury in your hearts. Summon up the great courage of our forefathers, whose blood you hold in your veins. You are warriors indeed, great warriors, and you shall crush these weaklings. Those boots have seen
Now, Westphalia has something unique in that they have CX warriors. Or no, CX, they have the CX. And that's something that I don't think the Saxons actually have in the base game. Like, I tried to look on individual units, but most of the roster is Nordic, not Germanic, which is so weird. Anyway, the CX band and warriors use the CX. It has the exact same melee damage as an axe, but has 5 bonus versus infantry, bringing up their armor piercing against infantry to 17. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, it does, because their armor piercing is 12. An axe's armor piercing damage is 16. So they have 17 armor piercing versus infantry. And their melee attack is pretty good already.
Can you feel it?
CX, or the cheaper sword units, compared to your main line 700 talent units, who actually do have different stats. Like, these sword veterans are more offensive than armored swordsmen for sure. These swords, they are much different in that the cheaper ones are more flexible. You can put them in shield wall. You can, but in certain battles where you know your opponent's going to go into shield wall, you'd be better off not doing that. You'd be better off not going into shield wall, because you could easily flank a shield wall, making a shield wall less effective. And you can even hit it in the rear with like a cav unit. Anyway, I told my opponent that I was new to, this is my first Age of Charlemagne multiplayer battle, and I told him that I was hoping that I could learn something out of this, and I think I did. And it was a pretty nice fight in general. Anyway, he ended up getting a little too close to my spear unit over here. Now, these are spear warriors. Do they have the best armor? No. I did bring a unit, the spear veterans, that have 46 armor, which is good. I decided to use this unit, because I could lose this unit and still win the fight over here, thanks to the Saxon cav. Saxon cav are weaker than Andalusian cav in melee, which you should know if you've played the game long enough. However, one thing that people don't take into account is the fact that Saxon cav are actually Jav cav with a 20 bonus versus cav. So essentially, you have a unit that can throw off all of their javelins and still be quite effective. So I decided to charge in my CX warriors, which may have been a bad idea because it was frontally. However, these brother spearmen were light, and so they get knocked down a lot apparently because of how mass works. Over here, I don't think he was microing all too well, because he ended up getting one of his bow units a little too close. He did go into Spear Wall, but Spear Wall doesn't help you that much when you're getting charged at. He ended up trying to get into the back of these guys, but ended up getting them routed. Over here, his flank starts to collapse. I decided to go into Shield Wall because he brought a core of Andalusian infantry, whereas I brought sword veterans, which most of them I didn't even get to use.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat! Their unit has rallied!
He has his cav on standby. His Andalusian skirmishers end up going into my men, which actually gives these Andalusian infantry time to beat my unit, which I was fine with. He decides to get bold and charge my bow infantry, which I was fine with.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Over here, his Andalusian skirmishers actually got caught by my Saxon cav. He decides to countercharge. And I should have used this unit. I realize that now, but I didn't. And so I lost the chance to use these javelins against the cav. However, this unit still had javelins. Over here, I thought that he would have pulled out or something. He didn't. I still used my Saxon cav to rout, or no, not rout, damage them as much as I could. Over here, he's going to charge into my Saxon cav. They did have skirmish mode on, but it didn't serve them much purpose.
The men are broken and are fleeing!
On my flank, I was losing, but a lot of things were happening, and I was focusing mostly on this flank because I was winning on it. He decides to come back into my archers, which by this point it was so pointless because they pretty much used all of their ammo. And yeah, he was losing in a bunch of places, wasting his cavalry against my spears on his flanks. Even though it did look like he was going to win, he ended up losing on the flanks. So I decided to just skip fighting these two units, which would be a waste of time, and just decided to focus on the flanks, and then eventually the center itself would crumble. On the flanks, I did beat these Andalusian infantry. However, he also had his cav coming in. On this flank, I did win, obviously. And yeah, just like that, his army did break. And now they say in Attila that sword infantry are, no, not sword, spears are quite useless, just like they are in Rome 2. That's partially true, not completely. You have to remember that spears do have bonuses versus cav, whereas not every sword unit does have that option, or melee infantry rather. Clubs are definitely useless against cav, and you should never use them. Over here, I get my Jav cav into his own archers, which helped me. I decided to send my spears into the general, and then these sword veterans over here with my general. By this point, it was very, very obvious that he was going to lose, because his flanks were just getting decimated. The center wouldn't beat my own center. And then his general was going to get hit with a spear unit. And so I think by this point he just decided to call it quits. And it was kind of unfortunate because there actually was a chance that he could have won. There was. And oh well. I mean, hopefully I'll get to fight him again. But anyway, good game, well played. I think like a few minutes after I got into another battle. This is the second one for Age of Charlemagne. People tend to place a heavy emphasis on cavalry. I accidentally brought too much. I ended up bringing 7. I only wanted to bring 5, but I had enough money because Asturias isn't the best of factions when it comes to killing power, and so their Iberian cav makes up for this. As the sword cav.
Our honored ancestors are watching today. We have a proud tradition of courage, honor, and bravery to match. And I know that you will not be found wanting. Now, the hour approaches. Make ready!
Now, the Avars aren't that scary. They're not as scary as the Huns. One of the best bow cav units in the Hunnic army is the Avar Horde. So the Avars have been they've been around for a long time, basically. Now, one thing I did hate about this, the multiplayer in this game is that it's kind of like how in Rome 2, where you either fight people that are really, most of the times you fight people that are quite bad. There are times where you fight people that don't know what they're doing. Then sometimes there's also people that you'll fight that are much better than you. And then, like, one time I actually got a decisive defeat because I was using a heavy faction. And then every now and then you'll get somebody that matches your strength, like matches your knowledge and can match you, and so forth. This is one of those battles where you fight somebody that's much weaker than you. Basically, this is all of the Avar cavalry. What you see here is basically their cav. This is the Andalusian cav. And I mean, against the Danes, you want to have solid cavalry because they have berserkers. Now, one thing I noticed about this is that these 3 units were Avar horse masters. They have good missile damage. You know, they're Avars, obviously they would. Good missile damage. But they are slow. That does cause a problem when you're going up against units that have 80 speed. These Avar Lancers have 90 speed, however. I actually think he brought 1, and then, yeah, these are, yeah. Funnily enough, the heavy shock cav have better speed than the heavy bow cav. I don't know why, but that's how it works. I decided to bait to see if he would actually charge my cav with his own cav. He took the bait, he did it. I decided to sacrifice these 2 units of cav just to make sure that these other cav units couldn't get out. He tried to pull out with these Avar Lancers. They took a lot of casualties. He moved over with his bow cav, but I had 2 units of cav coming to intercept them anyway. He decides to try to pull out, takes a lot of casualties. And it's basically a waste of good Lancers because the Avars rely on their Lancers and horse archers more than they rely on their infantry, just like the Huns. By this point, he routed. By this point, he quit. Guess you realized that you made a mistake.
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle! The enemy has engaged our ally!
By this point, I tied up all of his horse archers, just decided to use my spears to get rid of it. And over here, my ally did hold. He got a lot of kills. He was able to make his men go berserk. I mean, that's kind of what happens. Berserkers for most of the other factions, especially in the base game, are very underwhelming. And I decided to support my ally because obviously Danes don't have cavalry, which is representative. Yeah.
Our men have regrouped! We have gained the upper hand! Our men run from the enemy! This is shameful! running? Stand and fight, damn you! The general has been killed! Excellent! A unit is running from the enemy! To the battle!
Battle ready and eager! Noble swordsmen! Gothic warband! Noble horsemen! Warband! Spearman! We're asking for blood! Don't break formation!
Come, men! We go to take our place in history. Live or die, the gods watch us with pride, and our ancestors sing our praises! Can you hear them, men? They sing of our glory! The glory of victory!
Ah! Mounted warriors! Advance and speed! Order! Serena! And eager! Aye! Move it! Battle group disbanded!
horsemen!
Missile warriors!
Mounted death!
Our ally is under attack from the enemy!
Riders, advance!
Missiles ready!
We hunger for blood and battle! Put up the shield wall!
Missile armed warriors! Get organized! Hunger for blood and battle! Battle ready! Lose formation! Orders! For Commendano!
Aye, with Drexling!
It's an ambush!
Weapons!
Palatina defectors! Gothic warband!
Warriors ready! Orders!
Get your shields up!
The enemy refuses to admit defeat! Their unit has rallied!
They will bleed for us! Ah!
Attila defectors!
Noble swordsmen!
Battle ready! Put up the shield wall! Palatina defectors! Melee warriors! Warriors ready! Ready!
Ready!
Ah! Warriors ready! Battle ready!
Battle ready!
The enemy is attacking our general! Ready!
Gothic warband! Old sworn warriors! Ah!
Orders! We'll kill them all! Kill them, bastards! Palatina defectors! Warriors ready! Roar! Orders! War commando! Kill, kill! T-Ho! Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
Attila defectors! We hunger for blood and battle!
Warriors ready! Adjo!
Rapid advance! Ready! Warriors, move out! Battle ready!
Ready! Run! Battle ready! Battle waddle!
Oath sworn warriors! No kill!
Missile warriors!
Oath sworn warriors! Battle ready and eager! Battle ready! Paladina defectors! Run! We hunger for blood and battle! Ready! Battle ready!
Battle ready! Our forces have found their courage! Back to the fight!
Warriors eager for blood! Battle ready!
Blood on! All commando!
Ready for battle! Roar! Aye! Ard! Mountain death! Broken and running for their lives! Warriors, ready! Kill, kill! Battle Slogo! Gatu Walo! Loaded! All commanding now! Run! All commanding now! Orders! Ready! Up! Ready! Kill! Ready! Enemy units have returned to the battle! Warriors, ready! Battle ready! As you say! Orders! Neatest! Run! Mudako! We'll kill them all! Paladin and defectors! Ready! We hunger for blood and battle! Battle ready and eager! Let's move out! Oath-sworn warriors! Ready! Ready!
Warriors ready! Orders! Eat us! Out! The enemy general is dead!
Missile warriors! Atu millet! Gone!
Orders! Warriors ready! Our men flee the field of battle! This is a shameful display!
March!
Warriors eager for blood! Ready for battle! Elite pikemen!
Missiles ready! Now!
Fearless warriors! Battle ready and eager! Urge! Understood! They'll kill! Move! They'll kill! T.O. One commando! Gatu millet! The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing! Warriors, withdraw! Melee warriors! Well done!
Warriors ready!
Warriors eager for blood! Run! Forward! Ah! Ah!
Deadly missiles ready!
Gotcha! Battle ready and eager!
Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.